Hi, I'm Dionne Buckingham-Brown, also known as DBB, and I just wanted to jump onto video today because I'm just, as always, I suppose, really excited for what's been unfolding for me this week. I'm recovering from an awful cold last week, and I'm back and raring to go this week. So, a little bit about me. I am 43 years old. I've got two boys, and I was originally born in Birmingham and raised in Birmingham, and now I've sort of moved outside into North Warwickshire, Staffordshire border. Now, from the age of about 4 or 5 years old, I had this vision of being a police officer. I just knew from a certain point that that was what I wanted to do. So I did it. So I got work experience by way of, Saturday jobs, going out and doing silver service, even pretending that I was a little bit older than I was, but we won't go into that. And just did everything just to get life experience to fuel my vision of being a police officer. Now, when I got to 18 3/4, I was able to submit my application, and that's what I did. And then over a period of a few months, I was accepted into West Midlands Police Force. Great, it's my dream come true. It's what I'd always wanted, what I dreamt of. Everything I did, I stayed out of trouble. Had laugh and jokes with my friends, but those that said, if you're going to be a police officer, we're never going to speak to you again, I just batted them off because I knew that in my mind that's what I wanted to do, and to be a copper. Anyway, spent some fantastic years in the police force, until a point when I realised I hated what I was doing. I think the last 3 years of my service, I really started to struggle with being there. There were other things going on in the background that I wasn't managing perhaps properly myself, and what was going on in my own personal life, as well as things that perhaps I wasn't very comfortable with that were happening within the work environment. Anyway, all of those things that they culminated to a point where I just hated the job, the career that I'd worked so hard to achieve. I was award winning, I'd been commended for this team and for running that job and being part of various fantastic community impactive, positively impactive work. And so I found myself for the last sort of 2 years crying nearly every day, and it just got to the point where I was really ill. I was suffering from delayed grief. I was suffering from adrenal stress. I was losing weight, I was putting weight on, I was getting kidney problems, I was having brain scans, my children were ill because they could see what was happening to me. All of these things were going on, and at one point I just decided that I had to walk away and get myself better. And that actually was a turning point for me. That happened, I think, in December 2015. Is when that turning point happened. Sorry, no, December 2014. That's when I decided to walk away, move out of the department where I was working, and just get myself better. I'd just driven myself into this hole of being so ill, and I just needed to get myself better. Now, my birthday is in January, so I left on this in December 2014, and then January 2015, I had a breakdown, or a breakthrough is what I like to call it. I couldn't leave the house. I was supposed to go and meet a friend for coffee, and I just burst into tears, and I just couldn't leave the house, couldn't face seeing anybody, couldn't face the thought of going back to work. I was just an absolute complete mess. And from that, actually, from that real dire low point, I started to grow. But I didn't know it, but I did. My friends said to me, just take baby steps, day by day, just deal with things, as they are, live in the now. And I didn't really understand what any of that meant. You know, I couldn't sleep. I was surviving on maybe 1 hour, 2 hours top sleep a night. I was having hallucinations during the day, and then I was having vivid sort of appearances during the night. It was just crazy, absolutely crazy. So, but what I did do was listen to empowerment audiobooks, Les Brown, Anthony Robbins. I couldn't really take in what was being said, but I could hear the words. And then over time, the messages that were given by Les Brown and Anthony Robbins were just seeping little by little into my mind, to the point where I started to feel better. You know, I had talking therapy, and I could kind of lay all my ducks in a row and then make sense of what this huge mess in my mind was. So I went to Glastonbury, which was already pre-booked from before I'd actually left, and I just had an amazing time. I just so I love to party, and I just sat in a field with my friend Gigi, and you know, I spoke to her about my wanting to leave in October 2017. So at this point we were in 2015, June 2015, and I had this vision again of leaving my job for good, the police force for good, in 2017. But I just felt so free. I just felt as if there was the potential for me to restart and rethink where I wanted to go, what I wanted to do with my life. And I was just going to give myself a little bit of time to plan. And then I went back to work in, I think, July of 2015, and went to a new department because I thought, you know, good break, it'll see me for the time that, you know, I wanted to put plans into place to leave. And I hated it. Not because of the people, but the people were lovely and the work was good, but I just had this different view of what I wanted to do and where I was, and I just had such clarity. And I remember seeing one of the guys there, and I think he was on countdown 345 days when I first stepped into that office. 345 days he had on this countdown clock until he had to retire, and his breakfast consisted of chocolate bars, and he was just the most, he was lovely, but he was so damn miserable. I just couldn't even, and I had to sit opposite me. I can't even tell you because this guy was just so miserable. So I'm quite a bubbly person. By the time I'd spent 2 months in that office, I was done, gone. 10th of November 2015, I got up in the morning, I drove into work, sat down at my computer, typed a letter, typed an email and sent it to my boss, and sent it to HR and said, I hereby hand in my notice. I'd already found out that I'd had, you know, 32 days annual leave allocation to me, so I arranged to have 28 days annual leave allocated, and I used that to serve my notice of leave to West Midlands Police. Now, I walked out of that place not even having a fear. I just knew that was the time that I had to take the steps and just get the hell out of there. I just knew that there had to be a better way for me. There had to be a better way for me to live my life. Whatever I put my hand to, I knew I would make it work, but I just knew I couldn't be there anymore. And it was so liberating. I can't even tell you. It's actually making me a little bit emotional now, but it was so liberating that I chose at that point to take life back into my own hands. So I walked out with no plan B. I just figured whatever plan A was going to be, it was going to be. And I was dabbling in a little bit of property investing at that point. I'd already bought a property to uses a buy to let, and I was looking at other properties and other creative ways to invest as well in property. And I ended up speaking to a guy called Gary, who I'm forever indebted to. Thank you, Gary. But he's part of an energy procurement business. And anyway, I went and spoke to the associate directors up at Pierce Utilities, and I loved what I saw. I loved the flexibility of me being able to set up my own business as an energy broker for commercial businesses. And so I signed the contract and thought, you know what, I'll give it a go. I've got nothing to lose. It was the best decision I ever made. I can work my own hours, and it's not easy, but it's a simple business. If you know, I've got a team of up to 70 people behind me that help with all the back office stuff. I go out there and I talk to people and I help businesses. It's exactly what I wanted to do my whole life. I wanted to help people, you know, in whatever capacity that may be. You know, in the police it was help people, victims of crime. In business now it's helping businesses save time and money. It's all the same to me. It's all helping and giving and sharing. That's my philosophy. So that's what I do. I'm a business energy broker. I also help people to set up their own businesses doing the same thing. You know, if they want to earn a bit of money on the side, or if they want to take it to, you know, the next level and actually earn a potential 5-6 figure monthly, well, 5-figure monthly incomes, then, you know, that's what I'm there to help them do. That's the vision that I have for myself now. You know, I want the best for my children, my family. I want to be able to travel whenever I want to travel. I want to be able to adopt and foster children without the worry about, you know, where the next meal's going to come from. You know, I had no money growing up, and I just want to provide all of those things. I want lots of kids, and I've found a lovely, lovely man that, you know, I share my life with. My boys are happy and healthy, and I just want to, yeah, just say, no matter where you are in life, no matter how low you think you are emotionally, there is always a way. Out of every single bad thing, there is a good thing underpinning all of that. Just listen to yourself, trust your instinct, trust your gut. If something's not right, think about what it is that's not right. Speak to people. You know, if you're going through, you know, a lot of turmoil in your life, speak to people. It helped me no end, because that was the one thing that I figured that I wasn't doing. I wasn't speaking to people. So that's my message for the day. Get talking and grab life with both hands, because I'm the happiest that I've ever been. And I hope that from listening to this that you can find some happy too. So if you want to know a little bit more about me, I'll be posting out regular blogs. They'll be attached to my website, db-b.co.uk. You'll also see me, you can follow me on Facebook at Dionne Buckingham-Brown. I'm also on Twitter at ddbrown3. I've got loads going on. And also Instagram. So find me on social media, look out for me on my website, drop me an email. I'll be more than happy to speak to you and see how I can help you in any other ways. Anyway, have a great day. Love and light. Speak to you soon.